Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
It is the 31st century, and mankind is once again at war. The battlefields of the future are dominated by huge robotic war machines known as Battlemechs.
Hello, and welcome back to The Arsenal, a series where we look at the weapons, equipment, and technology of the BattleTech universe. Today, we look at a piece of equipment that was designed to solve classic battlefield problems. For centuries, armies have lived or died on their ability to maneuver. Few would argue the capability to quickly and efficiently move across the battlefield is not a key to victory these days. Still, sometimes things quite literally get in the way, be it fortifications built by the enemy, or Mother Nature placing her toys in inconvenient places. While the Battlemech on its own enjoys outstanding mobility compared to conventional units, even the outstanding can get even better. At the request of Retro Laser, today we look at the Jump Jet. The extreme restrictions on command and control of ancient times limited the need for mobility. Once organized armies were formed, battles tended to take place on open fields, the origin of the battlefield term we still use in the 31st century. The first game changer was the introduction of the War Chariot. The mobile platform allowed striking power at speed and a degree of protection, starting a mobility arms race that continued through armored knights, cavalry equipped with firearms, tanks, and, of course, eventually to the Battlemech. The armored legs of the Mackie allowed it to cross terrain difficult, if not impossible, for most prior war machines. Being fully environmentally sealed, it could operate underwater or in the vacuum of space. And while more traditional units could be equipped to do so, those features became standard on Battlemechs. Still, age-old tactics could be used to slow down, if not stop, the Mackie. Tall walls, deep pits, rough ground, and while able to operate underwater, doing so still had its risks, especially in those early days. Take a river, for example. A river can be a very effective barrier to conventional forces. You basically have two choices. Bring the equipment with you to cross the river yourself. Expensive, time-consuming, and somewhat difficult on a nice sunny day, to say nothing of when someone is shooting at you. Alternatively, you can attempt to use existing infrastructure to get your forces across. Incredibly effective. Unless, of course, the enemy is, uncooperative. It seems normal today, but think about the situation at the time. Despite the improvements, there were still problems getting these new war machines around. Some enterprising individual, or complete madman, depending upon how you look at it, looked at this thing and envisioned it soaring gracefully through the air. Now, there had been other attempts at overcoming such obstacles in the past. Some were more or less successful. A hovercraft can cover ground traditional vehicles cannot. Then there were, let's go with less successful attempts. With the Battlemech, things were different. In many ways, part of the work was already done. Small personal rocket or jetpacks had existed for centuries, dating back all the way to the Western Alliance's introduction of jump infantry. Dropships were also old technology by the time of Kincaid's famous trial. These endo-exo-atmospheric craft use fusion-powered rockets as their primary means of mobility. Massive fusion engines funnel down to nozzles that push dropships off the ground, in the air, and through space. Downsizing this technology started almost immediately. While the Mackie itself would not fly, at least not in its standard configurations, in 2471, the venerable Wasp would be the first to take to the sky. For reference, that's 32 years from the Mackie's trial debut to a Battlemech overcoming gravity on its own. Someone worked fast. Now, I do feel it needs stating that the Wasp we know today differs very much from the Wasp of 2471. Primitive components and the experimental nature of the WSP-1 Wasp limited its capabilities. While still an outstanding scouting mech for its day, mech warriors of the time were reluctant to use their jump jets, primarily because of their lack of experience. I mean, after all, these were the first to attempt controlling a multi-ton humanoid death machine in midair, after all. Another reason was the experimental nature of the early jump jets. Limited in range but requiring massive power from the fusion reactor, rockets have a history of having the occasional safety issue. Despite the risk, the advantage of jump jets could not be denied, especially once the system became more refined and reliable. The nuclear-powered mini-rockets quickly found their way beyond the Wasp into mechs of every weight class, from light mechs to assaults, some mechs becoming famous for the creative use of their jump jets. A jump jet's function is simple enough to understand, even if the details can get somewhat complicated. Power is pulled from the mech's fusion engine, superheating a reaction mass inside a magnetically shielded reaction chamber. This reaction mass is typically drawn from the local atmosphere, supplied by intakes on the mech. Nearly all mechs carry supplementary tanks containing alternative reactants to supplement air drawn from the atmosphere, or to fully supply the reactants in case the mech is operating in a vacuum. When operating in an atmosphere, the supply of reactant is more or less unlimited. However, tank space for the compressed and superheated gas is limited. Further, compression is essential to the operation of jump jets, so reactants that cannot be compressed cannot be used. This is why jump jets submerged in water cannot function. Since the turbo compressors cannot replace the gas as fast as the jump jets must expel it, no mech can maintain endless flight. Well, no main Battlemech anyway. Thrust vector controlling vanes or vents help control the mech during takeoff, in flight, and of course landing. Small attitude control ports provide for minute adjustments, normally made by the mech's computer systems. Jump jets differ slightly by manufacturer, but over the centuries have become more or less standardized. Well, sort of. It's complicated. Jump jets take a full critical space, but their weight depends on the mech's class being equipped. Light and medium mechs do not require as much thrust, therefore their pressure tanks and components can be made of lighter materials. Light class jump jets weigh half a Star League ton. Heavy units require a bit more power to get off the ground. Likewise, heavy class jump jets require reinforced components, drawing the weight up to a full ton. The monstrosities of assault mechs require massive thrust to achieve lift. Because of this, the heavily reinforced assault class jump jets weigh 2 full tons per jump jet. Firing up a mech's jump jets will allow a mech to leap up to 3 altitude units high, and can travel 1 ground unit forward for each jump jet mounted, roughly 30 meters. Jump jets generate a heat for each unit traveled. Well, kind of. Firing up a jump jet, any jump jet, is going to generate 3 heat regardless of the distance. After that, the increased stress on the fusion engine will generate a heat for each ground unit after the first 3. The number of jump jets a mech can handle is limited to the excess mobility power rating of the mech's fusion engine, a complex formula that takes into account power generation, weight ratio, relay limits, and other factors. Or you could just use the age-old method of your mech's walking speed and ground units is the number of jump jets your mech can handle. The physical appearance of jump jets depend on the design. Some use jump jets fully incorporated into the leg or body of the mech. Intakes and exhaust vents are hidden and only really noticeable when used. It can be a nasty surprise when a mech takes to the air and you had no idea it could. But then again, fully incorporating jump jets adds to complexity and greatly increases maintenance costs. On the other hand, some units mount their jump jets as packs. Maintenance is much easier, but you are pretty much declaring to anyone that can see, "Look at me! I can fly! Shoot me before I do!" Either way, a trade-off. There is no right or wrong answer. The success of jump jets was not limited to Battlemechs alone. Like any successful invention, creative minds began to look at other ways of employing it. A small jump jet can be equipped to modern battle armor, the most famous, of course, being the clan elemental suit, which more or less is jump-capable by default. The SLDF even tried to equip traditional combat vehicles with jump jets. The idea was sound, but landing a brick of combat vehicle is much more difficult than landing a pair of gyro-controlled articulating legs. A degree or 2 off for a mech and you adjust the leg a little. A degree or 2 off for a tracked or even hover vehicle, well, you tip over, or worse. Advanced computers running AI flight control software was needed to react to changes faster than any human could. Even for its day, the usefulness of such vehicles was debatable. And the Great War, followed by the firestorm of the Succession Wars, proved the point moot, since, well, being nuked back to almost the Stone Age tends to be a little hard on things requiring advanced AI. The clans did retain the technology because, well, of course they did. But their mechs now, mechs later, mechs only honor system allows for limited development of such things. Clan Hellhorse did invest some into the idea, introducing their Hephaestus jump tank in 3083. Definitely an improvement over the SLDF Conga. But, well, only the horses really use the thing, and we have limited data to analyze. Over the centuries, jump jets have become a vital piece of equipment for battlemechs. While attempts have been made to expand and improve the classic jump jet, results have been, we will go with mixed. Jump packs allow for mid-air deployment from dropships for even non-jump capable units, or for a one-time leap if used that way. Mechanical jump boosters for, well, a more organic method. Improved jump jets incorporating, let's go with afterburners for increased distance, with drawbacks. The clan slapping on a mini-wing providing additional lift and a little glide time is effective and surprising for them, giving their legendary disdain for a similar method. These and other attempts at alternate or improvements we will review in detail at a later time. In the end, despite centuries of tinkering, no one has been really able to overcome the inherent limitation of jump jets. The dream of a fully flight-capable mech remains elusive, a kind of impossibility. Except for, well, technological marvels as wondrous as they are rare. Until we open that Pandora's box, what do you think about jump jets? Are they essential or overrated? Also, if you would like to see a piece of equipment covered, leave a comment below. And as always, I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.
Hello, this is Adam with Dream Made Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.